So I grew up in Texas, and uh, growing up in Texas and being part of Texas, I got to know a little thing about 6A marching band. Um, Now my little town, marching band wasn't just 100 kids after school. Um, this is like an extracurricular activity, and it wasn't that. No, 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 no. This shit rallied the community, bro. Um, you would have grandparents, parents, the whole ass lineage at the football game, staring at these children with these peacock feathers on their hats, walking to the 50-yard line. Not walking, bro. We weren't in that walking shit. We would uh point our toes up high, step, close. That shit was meticulous as fuck. We were dancing on that field, bro. Big old 13-year-olds, big old white 13-year-olds dancing on that field, bro. Pirouetting on that field. Um, yeah. Now, in our band, we had a really strict 7 a.m. call time, bro. Every day at the small little track stadium right outside of our school. And if your ass was late 1 minute, um, the band director will call your ass out in the middle of the field, bro. Your ass, 7 a.m. hits, my big ass, hoof, 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 running on that field. And then that band director, bro, get your ass on the dot! Get your ass on that dot! And listen, dude, those trombone players, they don't take that shit lightly, dog. And they look at you, you know what I mean, disappointed as hell. Why the hell could you disrespect our band like that, bro? This shit isn't just an extracurricular activity, man. We're trying to win. We're trying to get into area, dog. What the hell is wrong with you, man? Yeah. So we took that, that shit was just no fun, no games, bro. We were there for a mission, dog. Every single day, we would get ready to like maybe rehearse the first half of the first act, and our director would give us a speech. He'd be like, "Listen, I know that it's 100 degrees out, bro. It's hot. The humidity's bringing it today. But listen, you can do hard things. You can walk to that 30-yard line with your chin up, and you can do that shit, dude. You can make sure that your bio test goes well because you can do hard things." And listen, all these kids looking at each other, smirking and shit. Well, no, you would have one group of kids looking at each other, smirking and shit. You know what I mean? Unconsciously thinking, what the hell? Like, this guy's kind of weird. Like, no one really. This is just corny. Like, why do you care so much about this thing? And then you'd have another set of kids. You know what I mean? Straight back, looking straight up to the pedestal. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm part of the Allen Eagle Escadrille. This is my calling. This is what I am. This is what I do. Yes, sir. Jack, get back on your dot. This shit is no fun and games, bro. We got a big flower mound this year. On some real shit, dude. Full reverence. Full support, bro. I'm gonna be the best recruit. So this one particular summer, our band director wanted to sort of, consult some alternative ways to make sure the band was able to perform at the best. So he decided to hire this breathing coach. And this breathing coach was this guy who sort of said, if you did this little exercise every morning, like this like 5 second breathe in, 5 second breathe out exercise, You would better be able to hit this flow state, and shit, man, you would be able to get to your spot quicker, not quicker, but just more effortlessly. Like you could do it with more grace, and you'd be more locked in. You'd be more locked into the mission. Our show's name was called Lux Eterna, everlasting light. Like we wanted to make sure that those band moms, bro, when they would come watch us in our area performance, area was like this big competition across the Metroplex, that they would feel they would feel that eternal light, bro. They would look at us, look at the formations, and they'd be like, wow, this shit is fucking beautiful. And so that breathing coach was trying to get that out of us. He was trying to get that essence out of us. And so, this one time we were doing these exercises, and he started to make us do these stretches. He was like doing this. He said, spread out your legs to shoulder width and try to touch the ground. Now there's this kid named Ricardo, and no shame, and Ricardo was kind of soft spoken, didn't really, you know what I mean. He seemed like a great guy. He seemed like a very sweet guy, great wholehearted guy, super 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 good hearted guy, but that boy was big. That boy was pretty big, and so we started doing the stretches. He, you know what I mean, he started to like bend down and touch those toes, and not touch it. That was a different stretch. This stretch was like, touch the space in between your feet, and you know what I mean, like Dr. Knight, one of our band directors, went up to him. He was like clapping. He was like, "You got this, man. Go deeper. Go. You got this, Ricardo." You know what I mean? But didn't say shit. You know what I mean? That's the type of kid he was. He just did it. You know what I mean? He just tried harder. But in that one particular day, Ricardo, I think, maybe tried a little bit too hard. He was going at it. He was going deeper in the stretch, and then all of a sudden you would hear a little like a you know what I mean? And that shit reverberated in the practice space. You know what I mean? And turns out his I think his hamstring just completely tore. And so, listen, remember the camp I had talked about before of like they really cared about, you know what I mean? The band this shit is our clan, bro. And we gotta make sure every single person in the tribe is alright. So there was this one girl, she rushed over Ricardo, do you need medical assistance, bro? Send in the emergency medics, you know what I mean? They would call everyone, you know what I mean? Casey, get the stretcher. We didn't have no stretcher. Casey, get the band-aids. Casey, get the alcohol wipes. Bro, this dude has his hamstring broke, dog. What the hell is a band-aid gonna do? You know what I mean? And so these band kids really just wanted to solve the issue, but it's like, this is above your pay grade, man. This is not something that sort of you can manage. But you know what? I appreciate the spirit, You really care about your clan, bro. You'd make a good father. You'd make a good father, Tyler. You just making sure all the kids are good and making sure all the kids get their, you know what I mean, get their fair share of potatoes. What a good father. But yeah, man. So Ricardo, listen, everyone took a knee, bro. You know what I mean? When in football games, whenever the cornerback is like going for a ball and then he like jumps, and then like a big ass like defensive lineman just crushes him, and the whole stadium is like, you know what I mean? The gamesmanship, the making sure that everyone's all right on the field. Listen, those band kids are the same thing for their brethren. Kneel down, send a little, dear God, I hope Ricardo can heal from this hamstring injury, God. And so, like everyone is kneeled down, Ricardo's being assisted with these band-aids and alcohol wipes, and our band director, Ricardo would leave, and then like all of a sudden became the big news in town, like, oh my gosh, like somebody was doing a stretch and he got his, well, so there was this one camp that would be like, somebody did this stretch, Ricardo did the stretch, and he had to be sent off into the medical office, and he had to be handled with bandits, like, oh my god, what's going on, XYZ. And then you have another, and maybe they'd also be laughing too. But then the other camp would be like, oh my god, like, we've had a fallen soldier today, man. Like, this is just abominable, man. Like, he gave so much to our band. Like, he gave so much to our escadrille. And to see him go down during the breathing exercises, what a guy. And even though these two camps had different tones in the way they handled the situation, I think the presiding feeling was that something was up, something was in the air. And so, the band directors, they tried their best to make sure the day went on smoothly, but also you could tell that that was definitely like pressed on their mind, that was somehow giving them grief, and they were like, they would like, usually during our we would go into this big ass room and we would do like these slurred exercises. And if you know what a slur is, it's like a we wouldn't curse, we wouldn't do that. It's like a different type of slur. It's like we would like hold a note and then we would like smoothly transition to another note, and we would work on these things. And usually the band directors would just leave the kids, you know what I mean? They would stand. They would look over rehearsal and they would, you know what I mean? But then there was this in this particular day, the band directors had left the room, and the one campus students were like, oh my god, they're going to go and talk about what happened to Ricardo. But guys, we have to focus on our slur practice. And, you would have like Maddie go onto the pedestal and be like, guys, this is not the end of a rehearsal. We have to continue. All right, let's start from bar 4, you know what I mean? And she would start leading the band and shit, you know what I mean? Band is not a joke, bro. We gotta make sure our slurred whole notes are good, dog. But you could tell, man, like there's something up. And she would like, you know what I mean? She would give an impromptu speech like, bro, you're not even getting paid for this, dog. But she would still stand on this pedestal and she'd be like, yeah, like band. I know what happened earlier today was terrible, Ricardo was, you know what I mean, just doing the stretches and he happened to fall down. But you know what? In order to remember Ricardo, in order to make sure that his big voluptuous ass will be remembered, we gotta proceed, man. We got to proceed. And she would go 1, 2, 3, and you know what I mean? And some kids were like, what the, you know what I mean? Like, it'd be like the shy kids in the corner just like with their heads down and be like, what the hell? What are we doing, man? I was confused, not even part, like, you know what I mean? Already kind of ostracized, not in sort of like in any social group, just being like, dude, like, this is just weird, man. But like, I don't have friends, so I can't really talk about it to anybody, so. But anyways, that's beyond the point. But yeah, we led rehearsal, and I think Ricardo ended up going to care now. He got his, he ended up getting emergency surgery. But I think Ricardo was very much so a martyr. He was the martyr of Allen High School. I mean, at least at Escadrille. He sort of ended up becoming this figure that everyone had to look up to. He gave his hamstring to our cause, bro. You know what I mean? And he made sure that eternal light would gleam off our band during the area competition, and so big ups to Ricardo, man. He definitely upped our chemistry, bro. But we still didn't make area that year. We still, Ricardo's sacrifice, I guess, wasn't that big enough, We still didn't make area. Too big of a band, 700 kids. How are you supposed to, make sure everyone is going to the right spots at the right time? It's impossible. It's just a losing game to play, man. You have to have tryouts, bro. You know what I mean? If you don't have tryouts, then anyone can get in, and that's beyond the point. But yeah, that's the story about Ricardo.